All right, where we are now is I've got the tank installed. I have brand new carburetor installed. Linkage is correct. The self-priming system appears to be working the way it should. And now we are going to install this little plate here. And what I need to do first, and by the way, we're just a few minutes from pulling the cord on this big old Craftsman. Originally on a Craftsman mower, Briggs & Stratton 190cc. So you put your little gasket on there like that. There's a little pin in that corner. So make sure I'm showing this accurately. There's a little pin on that corner that hole fits over, a little pin there, and a little pin there. There's no pin down in this area. This hole doesn't apply to this because it's self-priming, but if this was a priming system, when you push the primer bulb, that's where the air would go into the carburetor. But they issue these gaskets because they work on both. All right, so now we're going to line this thing up, make sure the crankcase ventilation tube is hooked to the back of that plate. It slides into place, and then you have your 3 openings. And what I like to do with these carburetors, because they're brand new, and sometimes these screws don't go in real easily. I only had 2 to start with, so let me see if I can find a spare here. Yeah, that's okay. So I'm going to hit these screws I've got with a wire brush. Let's see. And I'm bumping into everything today. And put a little dab of oil on them. And I'm going to seat them in this carburetor first, and then back them out, because I want to make sure I'm not torquing this thing up and stripping this very, very fine thread. So I'm going to be very careful with this. I recommend you do the same. So if you're installing one of these new carburetors, clean these screws, put a drop of oil on them, screw them all the way in, make sure they're not off center and stripping the threads, so be gentle with it. All right, so I got my little Honey Bear oil can here, a little bit of oil on there. Let's see. All right, got that on there, so I'm going to put that screw in there and start it with my fingers. Make sure it's going in easily without binding. Okay, it is. But then it'll get tight towards the end, so hit that with the wire brush a few times and put a dab of oil on there. There we go. Not getting very much on there. Try again. That's a little better. Got a little dab of oil on there. Okay, now I'm putting this one on the other side. Now I get my 5/16. And what happens with a lot of these carburetors, this screw will actually start to hit metal back here. But that's okay, because this plastic is about, I don't know, 3/8 deep. So I'm going to watch this real carefully. I'm going to do this one first. I'm going to make sure I'm not tearing into the metal too much. Okay, so that, yeah, I think it's starting. Maybe a little bit more. I think I'm starting to touch metal. Now this one doesn't touch any metal at all. You just go all the way into that baby. So that's what I've done there, okay? So now I'm gonna back them out because I know that they're gonna go in now and I haven't stripped it. Come on out there. Now we get this one out. And now I can put this plate on with confidence that I'm not gonna strip the threads in the carburetor. So again, that connects to the little crankcase hose. Slide that on, line this guy up. Let's start him first. This is where you gotta be careful. It's going in smoothly. You don't want it binding or twisting. Okay. That one looks like it's going in pretty good. And now this one. Gentle, gentle, gentle. Okay. Now on my electric drill, I'm going to get back way off because this doesn't need to be tight. It just needs to be snug. Okay, so I'm going to go down with these now. Now the other person that owned this did not have this third screw in here, but I'm going to find it in my supplies. And I think there's one right there, just laying around. That's correct. So let me hit it a few times with the wire brush. Now this is going into pretty coarse metal. I'm not all that worried about it. I'm not risking ruining a carburetor. To me, this is just a hanger. It just hangs this plate on here. It's not going into the carburetor. So let's get it where it's sort of snug. There we go. Now I'm going to snug these up with the most gentle setting on my electric drill. Okay, so that's it. Now, we should be able to go out and pull the cord on this thing, and I think it's going to start. Probably haven't run in years, but if we've done everything right, it will. So let me move my camera out here, and then I'll take the mower out. Make sure I'm lined up on the right bush. All right, for the moment of truth, I want to make sure I had it in the picture. And now I'm not. If this does run, I'm not going to let it run for long because I'm going to drain some of that oil off. In fact, it may smoke a little bit because it's got so much oil in it. Let's see what happens. it runs great. The only thing is I forgot to attach the kill wire to the kill switch, so that's why it wouldn't shut off. So you saw what I had to do. So I'm going to go back into this thing and make sure I've attached the wire to the kill switch, and we'll be good to go. This thing runs great, sounds great. So Kimberly is a winner.